Now, between our last show and this show, we actually lost a great American, an astronaut that's really one of our trailblazers, and we really felt we should honor him. And to join us tonight is Angelica Ruiz, one of our producers of the show, and she's going to tell you all about astronaut Michael Collins and his contributions, his life, and we're going to honor him. So thank you, Angelica, for putting this together and joining us tonight.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very happy to be here to honor Michael Collins, passed away April 28th. This leaves Buzz Aldrin as the last living crew member of Apollo 11. To tell you a little bit about his life, he was actually born the same year as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. He was born October 31st, 1930, in Rome, Italy, and there is actually a plaque in Rome celebrating the city as a place of his birth. The reason why he was born in Rome, he was born to a military family, and he actually traveled a lot during his youth because of that. He followed his family into the military, graduating from West Point in 1952, but he did not follow his father in the Army. He actually instead went to the Air Force, and he was a fighter pilot. He was a test pilot locally here in California at Edwards Air Force Base, and then he was selected as part of the third group of master astronauts in 1963. A little bit about his family, to whom we extend our condolences. He was married for a very long time to Patricia Mary Finnegan, over 50 years. She passed away in 2014. Had children Kate Ann and Michael, and Kate and Ann survived him. And that was a family that was waiting for him at home as well. He was on his missions. His first mission as a NASA astronaut was Gemini 10 with John Young. Very important mission. Actually it set records for altitude. It set records for rendezvous. The whole Gemini program was very important to prepare for the Apollo program, for which Collins was selected for as the command module pilot for Apollo 11, making him actually the second in command of the crew. A couple of other things, contributions. He actually designed the patch and decided not to add the names of the crew to the patch because he just thought it wasn't that important. And he also named his ship Columbia. Let's go ahead and take a look at the launch.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
Here we got a roll program.
So for those of you who may not know too much about the procedure of Apollo, as Neil and Buzz climbed into the lunar module to then descend onto the moon, it was Michael Collins' job to stay in the command module and orbit the moon alone. So he was in the Columbia alone and indeed lost contact, would lose contact with everyone, all humanity, while he was on the far side. This is a picture of Columbia taken from the Eagle. This was a very singular experience. He spoke about it. He wrote about it in his memoir, Catching the Fire, which he wrote in 1974. So to quote from him, "If account were taken, the score would be 3 billion plus 2 over on the other side of the moon, and 1 plus God only knows what else on this side. I feel this powerfully, not as fear or loneliness, but as awareness, anticipation, satisfaction, confidence, and almost exultation." Let's hear a little bit more about his experience in his own words.
This is in lunar orbit, showing the separation of the lunar module from the command module as viewed through my window. This was a busy time for me in that I was taking these motion pictures through the right-hand window. At the same time, I was taking still photos through the left-hand window, and also flying my vehicle and probably poorly, and taking a close look at the limb as he turned around.
I think that we were timely in accepting this mission of going to the moon. It might be timely at this point to think in many other areas of other missions that could be accomplished.
Oh. Everybody looking at me? I think long term, we find for the first time that man has the flexibility or the option of either walking this planet or some other planet, be it the moon or Mars or I don't know where. And I'm poorly equipped to evaluate where that may lead us to.
That was from the Apollo 11 post-mission press conference. You can see he was a man of extraordinary wit and a profound perspective. He was sort of done with his career as an astronaut. He declined command of Apollo 14. He felt that he had already experienced so much that most human beings would never be able to experience. He did stay with NASA briefly as the Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs before becoming director of the National Air and Space Museum from 1971 to 1978. And there he is in front of the building. He oversaw construction of the new building of that institution. He was a man of very broad interests. He was a painter, a writer, obviously, a person very interested in words and language. And he was active in social media really up until his death. This was one of his last tweets on Earth Day. I am certain if everyone could see the Earth floating just outside their windows, every day would be Earth Day. There are a few things more fragile and more beautiful than Earth. Let's work together today and every day to protect our home. So that's me, Michael Collins. Thank you, Ad Astra.
Yeah, well, thank you, Angelica.
Wonderful.
That was really wonderful, really lovely. And everybody think about Michael Collins and his contribution. It is amazing. He was offered Apollo 14 to go walk on the moon, and he turned it down and said, I've had my shot. I've had my chance. And there's not many people that would do that and let others have their chance and go walk on the moon. So you should remember him.